Did you know that law enforcement has not always issued the tools to police officers that they need to do their job? Did you know, as a matter of fact, in 1942, when the city of Rockaway hired Robert Dunlop as their first police chief, they paid him $75 a month. Oh, wait, there's more to that story because he had to buy his own .38 Special Colt revolver, which cost $40. Oh, and by the way, did we mention he had to drive his own car when he went out on patrol? It is Most Wanted Monday. Back with us today, Lieutenant Tim Robinson with the Wycomico County Sheriff's Office. We've got a list of fugitives to get out. But first off, just in case you didn't know, Lieutenant Robinson is also an adjunct professor of history at Salisbury University. And you were telling me that you actually teach history on law enforcement as well.
Yeah, I actually have a class that I teach at Warwick through the Police Academy on the history of law enforcement.
Wow. And do I understand correctly that we played a pretty sizable role in the history of law enforcement around here?
Well, around here, I work for a sheriff's office, which is a constitutional office, which has been around since this county was founded. But being part of Somerset County originally, that sheriff's office dates back to its founding of 1666. And as you mentioned about the uniforms, the Wycomico Sheriff's Office did not start issuing a standard uniform and a standard vehicle until after World War II. So prior to that,
wow,
the deputies, the uniform was very much of a hodgepodge if there were a uniform at all.
Things have changed a little bit. I want to talk to you more about this one of these days. You got some fascinating stories, I'm sure.
I have a passion for history as well as law enforcement. So when the two combine, it's pretty interesting.
It's a good day. It's a good day. Okay, so let's talk about some fugitives that you're looking for. How about we start off with a guy named Philip Morse Johnson?
Yes, Philip Johnson. We last have an address for him down in Fruitland, Maryland. He's 44 years old. And we have a circuit court bench warrant that was issued just last month when he violated the terms of his pretrial conditions in a case where he's awaiting trial on burglary and felony theft charges.
This is Daronte Lamont Jones.
Daronte Jones, we believe him to be right here in Salisbury. He's 30 years old. We have a circuit court bench warrant that was also issued last month. He also violated the terms of his pretrial conditions in a case where he was waiting trial on firearm and CDS distribution charges.
Take a good look at Mark Durand Jones.
Mark Durand Jones, he's 51 years old. We believe him to be right here in Salisbury still. And he's wanted on a district court bench warrant that was issued last spring in a case where he'd already been convicted of theft charges, but he's violated the terms of his probation, and he gets to go back in front of the judge as a result of that. So if anybody knows where Mark Jones is, all they have to do is pick up the phone, call Crime Solvers, and report his location.
Do you recognize this guy, Richard Eric Morse?
Richard Morse, he's 30 years old. We believe him to be right here in Salisbury. We have two circuit court bench warrants, both issued last month in September. One for violation of pretrial conditions he was awaiting trial on theft and credit card fraud charges. The other was involving a case where he'd already been convicted of CDS possession, but he's violated the terms of the probation in that case. So we have two circuit court bench warrants out for him.
Police are also looking for Brandon Paul Robinson.
Brandon Robinson, he's 33 years old. We believe him to be right here in Salisbury, and he's wanted on a district court bench warrant that was issued last February in a case where he'd already been convicted of assault in the second degree, dangerous weapon, disorderly conduct, and reckless endangerment. But he's done something to violate the terms of his probation, so he gets to go back in front of the judge again to explain himself and potentially face more sanctions.
And last but far from least, Joseph Dean Sterling Jr.
Joseph Sterling Jr., he's 55 years old. We last have an address for him in Lamar, Maryland, and he is wanted on an arrest warrant that was issued over the summer on charges of harassment, telephone misuse, making repeated calls, and electronic communication harassment, as well as vandalism. So if anybody knows where Joseph Dean Sterling is, like all the ones we profiled today, all you have to do is pick up the phone and give Crime Solvers a ring and report his location or the location of any of these individuals that we have seen today.
Lieutenant Tim Robinson, Wycomico County Sheriff's Office, thank you for what you do. Before I let you go, give me that phone number one more time.
410-548-1776, and operators standing by right now waiting to take your calls.
All righty, sir. Thank you much. Stay safe. Delmarva Life. We'll be right back.